Been a while since I've looked at some content. Feel the creative spark coming back a little bit. Time to have a look at some of the comments. That's a nice one. That's a nice one.
Hey, that was pretty crap for an Illuminati. Hey, guys, I got him good.
Well, SA, today's your lucky day. That's right. You want some unique insight? Well, you've come to the right place. And I know what you're thinking. Sunglasses, hat, and jumper. All tigers, by the way. Vintage. What is this? Spring? You're goddamn right this is spring. The weather can't make its goddamn mind up. I'm fired up. And I'll tell you why I'm fired up. The RFU cannot stop making terrible decisions. The one I'm going to pick apart today is the decision to not pick players that play in foreign countries. That's right, it's xenophobic, it's terrible, it's racist, it's misogynistic, it's so many things, but the most important is that it keeps us less competitive than other nations. Hear me out on this one, boys. First off, we have 10 teams left because, you know, we couldn't fund the other ones f***ing properly. You know, got Wasps that went in the can because they bought a stadium or were part owners with Coventry that they couldn't fill a stadium if they, you know, drove free hot dogs to the front stands.
You're in a baseball game! Baseball game, you eat hot dogs!
Worcester went under, although, you know, that's not the biggest loss. I kid. Worcester's a great rugby town. But I have to say, we're not in such a position to say, you know what, English players? You can only play in England if you play in England. But you know what? We're not in a financial position to say, if you want to play in England, you got to play in England. It doesn't make any sense. There's less teams there have ever been, and there's international players that come over and play here, taking up spots for other players. That's not a bad thing. The bad thing is we don't have enough spaces for competitive English talent. Take yourself as your random English player, okay? You're struggling to get into a Premiership side after time in the Championship and your position is taken up by somebody else. The choices are laid out in front of you. You can either stay and hope for somebody to get injured to come and improve your worth, and even then, you may not make it even to the side, and this is all for the wish to follow a boyhood dream to play for England, or you can those dreams and you can go to France or the URC and earn more money, but you'll never play for England. Why do these things have to be mutually exclusive? Why can't we just have players playing in other leagues and then playing for us? Oh, sorry, you can't go play in France, even though it's, you know, you're playing in Bordeaux, or I'm hoping that's north of France.
Hey, this guy's a dumbass.
You're in less of a flight time than if you were playing in f***ing Newcastle. What the f*** is this? It makes zero sense. There's no reason a player can't play in France, a player can't play in Ireland, can't play in Wales, or you can't travel back in time. It means that you won't have a competitive advantage. We can't get together. We couldn't possibly fly you out to those areas. Please, shut your mouth. This is ridiculous. That's point one. Started sweating here. Right. Point two. Let's have a look at some of the nations that let their players play in other countries. South Africa's probably the best example. It's funny because ever since South Africa decided their players can play in other countries, they've just been uncompetitive. They barely won 2 World Cups in a row. They're only just the best team in the Rugby Championship. And I don't know how much worse it can get for them. Oh wait, no, that's stupid. Oh my god. This is the most ridiculous argument. If you allow players to play in other leagues, they'll probably learn how those cultures play. You put someone in France, they'll learn how the French play. You put someone in South Africa, they'll learn how the South Africans play. It's just nonsense. I mean, look at what you can learn from playing international players from this video, from a stag do wearing beautiful English scrum destroys a Welsh organised rugby scrum. An English stag do versus a Welsh rugby team. We destroyed them. Oh, it was beautiful. And I only learnt that by playing English players in Welsh territory. We could have, I don't know, Owen Farrell, not a good example. He's going to France. Let me think of somebody else. We could put Elliot Daly playing for Leinster. He may not get in the team, but at least he brings some worth to the England squad, other than coming on and being a super sub. I can't get my head around this. It's unbelievable. I would actually like to retract my comments about Elliot Daly. He's actually a pretty good player in my opinion, and he's a really nice man. Let's watch him in this video as he gives the shirt to this young fan. Isn't that lovely? He's crying. That's really heartfelt.
Now, if the game had finished differently, that mightn't have happened.
Who cares about the game?
Do you know what I'm convinced this is? I just think the RFU can't be asked to create contracts for these top 14 players or URC players to get the time offer to come and play when England need them. It's the only reason I can think it doesn't work. I mean, honestly, it makes so much sense. You have a bigger pool of players to develop in, they can come back, and it really is just nonsense. The only exception I could really think is, you know, if you've got players playing in either Australia or New Zealand or Japan, in these areas, then it kind of makes sense. Oh, sorry, England camps in 2 weeks. We're in the middle of our Premiership season, so all the guys are fit. Oh, you are playing Super Rugby, you don't start for another 6 weeks, and you're 24 hours away by a flight. Maybe not the best decision. But I cannot fathom why we can't let them play in Europe, in France. Both places are in Europe. Ireland, Wales, Scotland, South Africa. I know it's a further flight, but time difference is pretty much the same. It makes no sense to me. We need to get Bill Sweeney round a table and say to him, listen buddy, this is the Illuminati, and we've got to have a word with you. Now, we like that you got Borthwick in. You finally made a fucking good decision there, didn't you? Eddie Jones probably held on a little bit too long, was a good decision to start off with. But, you know, we're going to have to pull the trigger on it. You're going to have to let players play somewhere else. I can't see another other way around this. The insight is, I mean, to be honest with you, this is a pretty Illuminati episode. This is obvious to everybody except from fucking Bill Sweeney. Jesus Christ, why are we not doing this? But no, let's keep the players in England. 10 teams, that's enough. No more need for that. Oh yes, keep them young, British and poor because they can't earn any money because they're not starting somewhere. It's just, I can't get over it, man. Something needs to change here. Let's take the glasses off and get a little bit serious. My message to the RFU is seriously reconsider this. I can't see how it's a good decision to double down a couple of weeks ago and say we think this gives us a competitive advantage. You can't just say that and it's true. It's like saying that this bowl is obviously a bowl. That's a fact. We can't dispute it. But it's like me saying that this bowl can also be used to measure rainfall and a 140 storm in storm events to measure what climate change is affecting our water systems. It might be able to do that, but I have to prove it. Anyway, the point is, just let's get the message out there that we need these players playing in other countries. It benefits everybody. It benefits the players. It benefits England rugby. It even benefits the RFU. They can have their salaries paid off to somebody else. They can get paid like Jack Willis in Toulouse. The whole reason I'm making this video is because I watched him truck stick half of Exeter's team going in for multiple scores. This guy can play like crazy, and let's be honest, we're not short of back rowers, but, you know, we could maybe use another centre, maybe some front rowers that could maybe go and develop in another league somewhere. I don't know. Let me know what you think. This really got my goat, and as you can see, it got me fired up along with SA's ridiculous comment. That's it from me, Illuminati out.